All right, we ready to start?
Yes.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. I've tried to introduce myself to everybody. Kevin, is this too loud? A little bit. Like I know how to change it, right? Let's see.
If we all swap seats, that would really mess up your...
It would. It would. Lavalier. Turn it down. Well, I'll have to do that at the break. Okay. If I hadn't introduced myself, my name is Andy Knott. We're going to be together for 3 hours today. Ethics, you have the privilege of sitting in an ethics class in the only state in the country that requires you to have a face-to-face ethics meeting. What do you think that's attributable to?
Our lovely politics here in the state.
Yeah, I like that. By the way, if you want to participate, and I encourage that, otherwise it's going to be a long 3 hours, there's a button on your microphone. You'll see a green light will come on. It stays on, so if you're going to make side comments, turn your mic off. But if you want to contribute, that's great. We are taping today. Really, right now, it's only me. But if you were talking into the microphone, I may pick up some of this. We've had requests from downstate to see how I teach this class, so we will see how it goes. I get to teach this class 3 or 4 times a month. These Wednesdays are my favorite days of the week because today we're scheduled to have 50 folks. I didn't count. But that means I get to meet 50 new people. And as you could tell, I ask you questions as I was introducing myself because I'm naturally curious. If you haven't been here before, let me give you a little history of my career. I came here to be a reporter for the Chicago Tribune. I did that for 8 years. I was an investigative reporter. Went to law school at Knott, became an assistant state's attorney under Jack O'Malley. And then after 8 years, we lost the election to Richard Devine. I moved my family to Australia for 4 years, came back and started at Morgan Stanley 8 days before 9/11. Stayed at Morgan Stanley for 10 years. And 5 years ago, went to Wintrust. I keep my office in Winnetka. I have a partner. I'm a portfolio manager. In my spare time, I play competitive tennis. I now play in the over 60s. Did you know that there is a grass court tennis club in downtown Pontiac, Michigan? First of all, grass courts are rare, right? Don't have many of those. Second of all, anybody familiar with downtown Pontiac, Michigan? Yeah. What's your comment about downtown Pontiac, Michigan, and the crumbling Silver Dome? Huh? Click your mic. It's a hot mess.
It's a rough place.
It's a rough place. So there's a grass court tennis club there. I went there in September and played in the National Grass Court Over 60 Championships. I got crushed in the first round. I got crushed in the first round of the consolation. My doubles partner and I gave him a go in the first round of doubles, but we still lost. So I'm by no means a great tennis player, but I've been playing all my life. And I grew up wanting to marry Chris Everett. Everybody knows who she's pretty, isn't she? It wasn't going to happen because she didn't know me. This is an obituary of her father who died late in 2015. He was from Chicago, by the way. I show you this because of the last sentence of that paragraph. My dad was the most moral, ethical, dignified person I ever knew. So, as a former newspaper reporter, newsflash number 1, it's too late for me to have that epitaph on my headstone, but maybe it's not too late for some of you all. Who likes the blues? Who likes music? Who knows what a shotgun shack is, by the way? Yes? What is a shotgun shack?
Shoot a shotgun through the front door and it'll go unimpeded through the back door.
Right, because all the doors are in the middle of the walls as you go back. So you got to go through the bedroom to get to the kitchen, and you got to go through the living room to get to the bedroom. This is a juke joint in Mississippi. Willie Seabury was the owner. He passed away this year. I've not been to Willie's place, Poor Monkey's Lounge, but I've been to a bunch of them in Clarksdale, Mississippi. A juke joint, what do you do in a juke joint? You juke, huh? Yeah. And you drink, and you have a party up in the living room. And that's how juke joints got started. So let's figure out who's at the party today. If you have a securities license, raise your hand, please. Oh, that's more than half the class. Good. And when I ask you to raise your hand, I want you to do it enthusiastically. Okay, Bruce, you got that? Right? Okay. Who has a license to get paid to give advice? Securities advice. Okay. Who doesn't know what that means? And you're willing to come here and bring it to Andy, and we talk it through. Huh? All right. Not willing to answer that question. I'm going to give you one more chance. And then for those that have been here before, you know what happens if people don't cooperate and interact in this classroom, right? Huh? You get called on, right? Abused a little bit. But I also have in my briefcase an ethics manual. And if we don't cooperate and participate and be interactive, I'm going to get that ethics manual and I'm going to give it to Kevin. And Kevin's going to read the first paragraph, and then he's going to pass it down to JJ, and we'll go like that. And I have 5 newspapers here. Did I tell you how much I like to read the newspaper? I'm going to sit right here, put my feet up, read the newspapers. You guys read the ethics manual to yourself, okay? And in 3 hours, you'll get the point, right? You'll get your credit. Hopefully, there's more to the point today. Nobody's going to be embarrassed. No wrong answers here. Do you know the difference? Who knows the difference between standard of care for the average insurance agent, stockbroker, and a person who gives advice for a fee? The standard of care, the difference. Who wants to put your hand up and take a chance? Or put your hand up if you don't know, and we'll have somebody explain it to you. Okay, don't know. All right, who wants to explain the difference in the standard of care between broker, agent, and advisor? We got smart people here. Wendy?
Best interest of the client.
For whom? Which side?
For the advisor who's getting the fee.
Put the client's best interest first, right? So the antithesis of that is what?
Putting the best interest of the broker first.
Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it? No. But that's the standard of care. It's, what's the word we use? Starts with an S. Say it. Yep. Suitability, right? And what does suitability mean? Anybody want to take a shot at that? Ethics manual's right over there.
Suitable for the client.
Okay, and say more. Does that mean that you can just come up with a story that your branch manager signs off on and then it's suitable? Yes. Mostly that's about what it means right now. You know, it's an arm's length transaction, and if I can make the case that it's suitable for the client, it does what it says it's going to do, then I can sell it, right? And that has led us to where we are today, which is next April, the Department of Labor is going to start enforcing new regulations on advising retirement assets. It's the Universal Fiduciary Rule, supposed to go into effect in April. In the third hour, we'll talk about that There are 6 lawsuits pending against this, and we also have a new administration coming in January, so we shall see what happens. I suspect, though, that my gut is that not much is going to happen. This is going to go forward in some form or fashion because Rick at PNC, his bank has already sunk a lot of money into getting ready for this. My place, other places, Wells Fargo. Who's at Wells Fargo? Have they rolled this out to you all? Right, so they've spent a lot of money, and I don't think they want to get off of that. So we shall see what happens. Good morning.